Welcome to Real Time, Florida Sportsman. This week, something totally unique. Old Florida, we're out on the Peace River. We're looking for snook, bass, and tarpon. It's time to find the shortest route to the hottest bite. We scan the Florida Sportsman community looking for the best fishing reports and travel to make real anglers our local guides. Give me some of that! Together, we let you in on secret spots and hometown moves. That's what I'm talking about!
Oh yeah, she's done for now.
This week we're in the southwest section of the Florida Sportsman Forum. We're fishing on the Peace River. We got a local guide, Mike Dixon. This guy grew up on this river. We're looking for bass, snook, and tarpon.
There you go. That's a good there.
Oh my goodness. Oh, nice. All coming up on Real Time, Florida Sportsman. So we're on the Peace River. We're in between Arcadia and the mouth of the river at Charlotte Harbor in a small town called Lake Susie. Launching the boat, first thing in the morning. It's a cool fall morning. The weather is absolutely perfect, clear skies. You know, I'm looking forward to a great day of fishing. What a pretty morning.
Yeah, man.
God, Mike Dixon from the southwest section of the Florida Sportsman Forum. We're on the Peace River.
Yep.
What do you got planned for us today?
Throw some plugs, maybe some live bait, a lot of snook, small tarpon, bass, maybe a redfish here and there.
I tell you, this is I've never been here. This is one beautiful piece of water here.
Oh yeah, it's real. If you want an old Florida outdoors, there ain't no houses, it's quiet. It's fun fishing, man.
We got a pretty one. Let's get on it. Pulling out first thing in the morning, it's easy to see why they call it the Peace River. You know, beautiful sunrise, steam coming off the water. You know, these shorelines are just lined with these beautiful cypress trees. This is absolutely a beautiful place. Talking to Mike, his plan is just to plug on these shorelines with hard baits. You know, lip plugs, covering a lot of water, hitting a lot of down trees, a lot of bends. And he also has one little area with some trussels, an old bridge area that he wants to try. This guy has a game plan that's all set. So this first spot here, what bridge is this?
This is 761.
Pretty neat area, you know, must like this structure.
Last few times I've caught a couple off of it every time.
What do you normally throw?
What
kind of baits do you throw?
Any kind of diving plug, yo-zuri, crystal minnow work good. Oh man, something just nailed the crap out of that thing.
I throw on a jig, get a little deeper. Mike's throwing a lip plug, lip yo-zuri. Just kind of scouting out, see what they want first thing this morning. A little cooler this morning. It might be a little deeper. Everything looks so good. And there's so many different ambush points. You have the shoreline where it goes from 6 inches deep and drops off to 6 feet. That's a great ambush point. But then you also have these fallen timbers, trees, and first thing in the morning, probably what you need to do is, at least what our plan was, is to get out there and figure out where these fish are positioned. There's a little one. Oh, that actually ain't a bad fish. Good job. Snook?
Yeah.
Let me get underneath you there, get that net out.
Nice, I didn't even hit it, just got heavy.
Ate that crystal minnow?
Mm.
Not a bad one. Nice and dark.
They get fat in here.
Yeah.
Real fat.
This reminds me just like of a typical kind of wintertime spot where they would just come and just hang out.
Look at the right.
Yeah. Dark color. Nice. Came right off that bank, just fishing that bank.
She hit it about halfway out.
First one of the morning. That's the way to start it.
Didn't even fray me.
All right, man.
All right.
Good job.
Thanks.
So that egg coming off that bank?
Yeah, she hit it about halfway out. Didn't hit it as hard as normal. Just felt my line get heavy.
Yeah, I was throwing that topwater plug for a while, but I'm not seeing anything on top. It's a little cooler this morning. So I'm gonna switch over to the jig, just get a little deeper. Maybe they're sitting a little deeper.
Definitely didn't hit it like they normally would. They usually about take the rod from you.
You ever troll these lip plugs down these canals?
I don't, but I've seen a lot of people do it.
Yeah, they do that by me, man. That's It's a great way to cover a lot of water, and it's pretty effective.
I work with a buddy that lives down this way. They do that a lot. I've never seen anybody, I've seen them do it by me, but I've never seen them catch fish, but I know they do.
Yeah.
I just never done it.
You ever seen him hook a log like this?
Oh yeah, if you're throwing something like that, you're gonna hunt plenty of them today.
So you live further up this river here?
Oh yeah, I live actually out in county north of this one. Yeah, I know there's a sign in Zolfo, which is just south of us. It says 70, I think it's 75 miles to the Fort Charlotte, the mouth. So yeah, it's a long river.
You get snook way up there by you?
Oh yeah.
75 miles inland.
Oh yeah, we get them all the way up to Fort Meade, Polk County, which is a county north of me. You go Polk, Hardy County, DeSoto County, and then Charlotte is just south of us.
So the Peace River is over 100 miles long, and this is pretty much completely fresh water. You know, when targeting snook and tarpon, you don't typically look for them in fresh water, but they're one of the few saltwater species that can actually tolerate completely fresh.
This segment is brought to you by Eagle Claw Trocar, the sharpest fish hooks in the world.
Working down the shoreline, it didn't take us long to figure out that these fish are positioned on the drop-off. Little cooler morning, they're sitting in a little deeper water, and it seems like that 4 to 6 foot depth of water is where we're getting the bites.
There you go. That's a good one there.
Bouncing that bottom there. Look how quick he is. I was just bouncing along the bottom. That thing came up and ate. You really feel them on that 15-pound spider wire. Oh my goodness. That's a keeper fish right there. Now the season's open over here, right?
Yeah.
What's your limit? Same as ours?
28 to 33.
Oh, so you got an extra inch. East Coast just goes 32. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, look at that. That's slot fish probably right there. They get bigger than this, huh?
A lot bigger. That's an average one right there.
That ain't a bad average. I'll take that all day long. Eat just about anything you throw at it. Yeah, that was definitely a chunker snook right there. That reminds me of those East Coast snook. A lot of these snooks on the West Coast are kind of skinny and long, but that
on the river, you
that Peace River
you catch
snook.
some fat ones, I tell you that.
Nice. A little better fish.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Another keeper fish. That is a fatty. Look how fat that fish is. You cannot say these fish aren't healthy.
They get
Look at
fat.
the belly on her. Big old fat belly. Get that coming right off the bank. I was busy hooking trees, and you were hooking this one. Man, what a good fish. God, just inhale that yo-zuri. Perfect. This is a perfect habitat for these snook. They come back up here in the wintertime, I'm sure, and just, I mean, you're catching them year-round, but as a place to come in the winter to stay warm, this dark tannic water, just love this.
No people around.
This is a perfect location for snook to breed. It's a fat fish, fattened up for the winter and ready for it to cool off. Let this one go back. These are quality snook, not what I was expecting so far up this river system. Typically up these rivers, you get some smaller males. You know, it's more like a breeding ground, a lot of juvenile fish, but these are quality keeper snook. Big fat bellies, I'm happy to be catching these. We were drifting the shoreline and did really well with the snook fishing. Mike though wanted to head over to the trussels, and he said this is an area that's known for big fish and juvenile tarpon. We've switched it up a bit. We're waiting for that tide to come in. It's actually filling right now, but there must be some headwater that it looks like it's still the current's coming this way, but the water is definitely still rising. We just switched it up, head over these trussels. We're actually throwing these little tilapia, kind of like an invasive bait. You're not allowed to get them anyplace else and bring them here for bait, but we caught them right over here, dropping them on these trussels with little circle hooks, looking for big snook or tarpon. You know, I've heard of tilapia. I don't think I've ever caught a tilapia, and now I'm using tilapia as a bait. Crazy, invasive species, but apparently the snook and tarpon in this area love these things.
That's a good one. That's a good one there.
Get in there, don't get in there. Fighting weird. Tarpon.
Is
Little
it?
baby tarpon.
Told you they're here. Not a bad little one.
Oh my God, you guys got everything in here. This place is like a nursery, man. It's crazy. These are so much fun to catch.
Surprised he didn't jump.
I know, he's not giving me much of...
Usually we catch them here, they spend more time in the air than anything.
God, he came up and ate that little bait. That circle hook just did the trick. What a cool fish. He said they were in there and his little trussels. God. These juvenile tarpon are a blast. You know, you can spend time chasing giant tarpon around. You hook one over 100 pounds, you get some jumps out of them, and the rest of it's work. But the great thing about these small fish, they're usually really acrobatic, they're a blast, you can target them on light tackle, but you don't have to sit there and fight them for an hour long.
This segment is brought to you by Ray Marine. Don't just go fishing, go hunting underwater with Ray Marine.
So I have quality snook, I caught a tarpon, and I'm missing one thing, I'm missing the bass. And talking to Mike, he says, let's push up further upriver, you know, it's better population of bass, and try to get that one that I'm looking for. Out on the river, I see these boats that are out here. They're all aluminum boats, tiller handles. You know, I'm in a 24-foot fiberglass Triton with a 300 horsepower Mercury on the back. You know, I got alligators to contend with, sandbars, fallen trees. I gotta admit, I'm a little nervous riding around. Just gonna make our way down here to the end, work our way back.
Yeah.
Might as well troll these little things on the way in there.
Yeah. I ain't never tried it. People do
I just
it,
got a
actually.
bite. I just had a bite.
I've never tried it, but I see people doing it a lot.
So now we're a little further upriver, and pretty much the techniques are the same. We're just banging away on these, fallen shorelines, looking for a lot of structure and a lot of current. You know, when I see lily pads and cypress trees, I normally don't think of snook. This is truly a unique fishery here. I'm thinking I'm bass fishing, but I think a snook's almost like a saltwater version of a bass. It's like the same stuff.
It's a lot stronger.
There ain't much bait back here, and some creek chubs, and these little yo-zuris are perfect. They look just like what they're eating. Whipping them along the shore, we'll work them off the drop. There's a certain time of year that you're fishing up here?
I mainly fish during the summer and the hotter months because I'm hunting during the winter. Supposedly, they move up here the best during the winter when it gets cold, but I'm not up here that much when it's cold, but we still do really good throughout the whole year.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing as the East Coast, A lot of these fish push back up these river systems. Warmer water in the winter. Snook and tarpon probably love it. But they're gonna be here year round, like you said. You get them in the summer. A lot of the fish will push into the passes, but it's just like a little nursery up in here, and I'm sure there's some big girls in the winter time as well. You can come up here and stay warm. Good job, brother. You were just tearing them up with that yo-zuri.
I need Mama to show up though.
You'll get her. Keep putting it in there. She's gonna show up.
She was not coming off it either.
The Peace River feeds into Charlotte Harbor. Charlotte Harbor is renowned for its red fishing. You have Boca Grande, which is one of the top tarpon spots in all of Florida. So it's not hard to imagine why these fish come up into the Peace River. I think all these river systems that feed Charlotte Harbor are full of bait, and these fish are just heading up these river systems looking for food. Good one. Nice fish, dude. God, that's quality fish. Another good one, man. Another beautiful Peace River snook. Let's let that one go. Quality fish, man, nice fatty. Dang, way out here,
right.
way out here. It tells me something. You get it right next to the boat. He ate that right underneath the trolling motor.
Yeah.
I mean, right there he ate it. That was crazy. Maybe they're sitting a little deeper right now. Careful when you grab a hold of all them treble hooks. Not a bad one. Let him go.
This segment is brought to you by Triton Boats by Earl Bentz. We take America fishing.
In this week's seminar, I'm going to talk to you about the hard baits that we used over here in the Peace River. Typically, first thing in the morning, what I like to throw is a topwater plug. I started with this yo-zuri topwater plug, but unfortunately, I just wasn't getting the bites. And probably what it was a little cooler in the morning. The fish were probably, down on the bottom or mid-depth suspended, so I had to switch things up. And I went to this 3D minnow. And this is a great bait for around here, and I think probably for a couple different reasons. There's a lot of snags on the bottom, so I don't want something that's going to totally dig on the bottom, get down there, and just you got a lot of hang-ups. This 3D minnow actually has this kind of like a diamond-shaped head, and it's a suspending bait. It kind of runs like a mid-level. We were throwing these baits up on the shoreline when it was, maybe 6 inches, a foot deep. We could work them a little slower, and as it dropped off, you could work them a little quicker. The great thing about this lip is it's going to stay down in the water. It's not going to jump up, and it'll suspend at the depth that I want it to. So this yo-zuri was getting most of the snook bites for us. We were also using the crystal minnow, another lip plug that's, this is a floater, so you can run it down. You quit cranking though, and it comes up in the water column, whereas this one was suspending. This was the great bait though on the Peace River. And just like most days, those low light conditions, as the sun began to fall, temperatures cooled off a bit, the bite definitely picked back up. Everything looks so good here. It's hard to quit. We had put pretty much a full day in, started making our way back to Lake Susie and the Navigator, but it's just hard to stop. Every turn you go around, it just looks like an area that you have to fish. Nice. These are some chunker snook.
She inhaled that thing too. Lodged in her mouth. I'm fitting to start eating right here at dark. Watch. I'm letting you go.
Good job, man.
That was 2 in a row, so it must be biting. Starting to bite.
Snook's my favorite. Not hard to see why. Love structure, great fights. Not easy to catch, but I tell you, they're a blast. I have to be honest, I never even heard of the Peace River before coming to this area and talking to Mike Dixon. This thing starts north of Bartow, and I've probably driven over it a dozen times coming to the West Coast, but just never paid attention to it and never realized it had the fishery that it does. Nice. Little guy.
Fighting little sucker right here. I can't turn him. Got him out the top of the head.
Oh, she inhaled it. God, all the way down the throat. Oh. Yeah, there was a point there. Mike's flipping them in the boat one after the other. I'm catching trees, hooking the bottom. I'm thinking maybe this ain't gonna pan out. Maybe I'm not gonna get my bass. Right then, I just stuck it to you.
I always
stuck it right to you.
Always redeem myself.
No, couldn't have. It was too pretty to happen.
Shut your. I always redeem myself. Wham.
These fish are spread out. You have to cover a lot of water. And I mean, I even have blisters because I was casting so much. So you got to put the time in, you got to put the cast in, but if you do so, you will be rewarded. As soon as it hit the water, that's a better fish.
It's a bass?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a bass.
Caught a bass.
Right on the edge of that bank there. Okay, that's got to be some kind of slam. I got my bass, a snook, and a tarpon. That's a Peace River slam. There's everything out here in this Peace River. Snook, bass, tarpon, unique fishery. Get this fresh water and let them go. Awesome, man. What a way to end of the day.
Yeah, man, it wasn't too bad.
Peace River, bass, tarpon, snook, some kind of slam. I'm gonna call it the Peace River Slam.
It's always a blast.
And you got a gem here. Thanks for showing it to me.
Oh, yeah.
I got my Peace River Slam. I don't know if it's called the Peace River Slam, but I'm calling it a Peace River Slam. My snook, my tarpon, and my bass. That's what I came for, and I accomplished it. Mike Dixon had contacted me. You know, he's on the Florida Sportsman Forum. He's involved in the Florida Sportsman community. He told me he was on a hot bite, and the guy didn't lie. This area didn't disappoint, and I'm so glad I made the trip over here. Anybody can catch him in the mouth, dude. Takes a true professional. Ooh, heads up. Caught us a Florida Sportsman.
Caught a big fish.